Hi there, I'm Cito Beltran. Welcome to Straight Talk. Today, our guest is a 26-year-old web page designer. But we're not here to talk about designing websites or web pages. We're talking about a young man's struggle against a very rare disease and how he has become an example for many disabled people. And his attitude should convince you if you're depressed right now, if you're depressed because you don't have a job, because you don't have a lot of money, or you have a broken relationship, well, take a look at this guy, because this guy is going to tell you that you have no right to be depressed. With us today is Juan Benedicto Katigbak Magdaraog. Juan is actually suffering from the acid maltase deficiency or Pompe disease. June, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Congratulations for being such a tough cookie. But before we get into this, I just want to explain to mga viewers natin, you're wearing a breathing machine.
Yeah, it's a breathing machine that I use because of the disease that I have.
Mm-hmm.
My muscles in my chest became weak, so it's hard for me to breathe and talk for long conversations.
Okay.
So I have to wear this machine. This is actually just a pump that makes sure that I get enough air into my lungs.
Mm-hmm.
So before, when I first got this, I used to only wear this when I was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But since the disease is progressive, lately I've been having to use it a lot more, especially because of work and stress it aggravates.
Okay, you are bound to a wheelchair. You are suffering from the progressive degenerative disease ba ito na Pompe disease.
Yes, Pompe.
Now, what exactly is Pompe disease?
Well, actually, Pompe is a rare metabolic disorder. You have the body has a lot of enzymes, and each enzyme has a corresponding use for your body. In my case, I lack the enzyme acid maltase, and what it does is it helps break down glucose to turn it into energy so that your body can use it for energy. So I lack that, or I have a very small amount of enzyme. So what happens is that I get my energy from protein. And since muscles are built up of primarily of protein, it helps regenerate the muscles. And apart from that, the glucose that I don't break down gets stored in my muscles, in my cells, and it helps break down the tissue.
So instead of having the source for energy and muscle development, you cannot break down the chemicals in your body, so much so that instead of helping you, it's actually destroying you.
Yeah.
Okay, muscular. Now, when did you find out? Paano mo nalaman that you had this rare disease?
Actually, it was when I was 10 years old. We started noticing that I had difficulty in walking.
Okay.
So my parents brought me to different doctors. And
difficulty walking as in, sakang, pike,
Actually, it started, I first noticed it when I tripped often. When I ran, I would trip sometimes. So,
natatalisod ka by yourself. Okay.
So they thought I was flat-footed.
Oh, magaling ka mag-English, ha? Saan ka ba nag-aaral?
Well, I studied grade school in Ateneo. Part of it in Ateneo. And then I took my college in College of St. Benil.
Okay, mabuti na lang, hindi ko sinabing Lasal kagad, ano? Okay, but anyway, okay, you're very good in English now. You would often trip. Was this later, like when you were 8 or 9, or?
No, I noticed it at 10 years old.
10 years old na?
Started that time. And then we went to different doctors here in the Philippines. And during that time, the medical facilities here could not diagnose the disease properly.
Okay.
So we first thought it was muscular dystrophy. And then when I was 16 years old, my father took me to the U.S. to have a muscular dystrophy specialist look at me.
Yeah.
And they ran some tests, called me And they found out it was not muscular dystrophy,
Mhm.
but in fact it was Pompe's disease.
Okay, now I'm familiar with muscular dystrophy because of the Jerry Lewis Muscular Dystrophy Foundation. But what is worse? Sinabi siya may muscular dystrophy ka, and then 6 years later you go to America and sabi, no, you don't have MD, you have Pompe disease. Which is worse?
Actually, muscular dystrophy has a lot of types. There are some types that are not so bad, but there are some types that are also severe.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, Pompe's, they said during that time, I had a better chance in Pompe's because there was research going on about it. And so we just took it at that.
But is it true that if you actually found out, or your parents found out now you had Pompe disease at 2 years old, your lifespan would have been very limited?
Yes, that's true. The earlier you get Pompe's disease, the more severe it is. There are three general classifications. You have the infantile Pompe disease.
Okay, take your time. Juan, I call you June or Juan?
Juan.
Juan, okay. Juan.
My friends call me Dikoy.
Dikoy, okay. Bakit Dikoy?
Because of Benedicto.
Okay. Now, take your time. We have a lot of time here. So, there are three types.
There are three types, yes. The infantile.
Okay.
It's when you get the disease from at birth till about a year or so. Then there's the juvenile, which I got when I was 10.
Okay.
And then there's the adult. So if you're 30 years old, you can still get it. It can still manifest. The most severe is the infantile. The lifespan of an infant is the infantile patient is typically up to 2 years old. That's probably without treatment, without therapy. You're about 2 years old. For the juvenile, they said it's about late 20s, early 30s. And then for the adult, usually the adults, they pass away through old age already, but with the symptoms.
So in your case, when they said that you have Pompe disease, you were 16 years old by then.
I was there when I first got it. But we only
when you found out when you were 16. What did the doctors tell you? Did they tell you, okay lang yan, you have a lot of resources available and may laban ka? Or did they tell you na you don't have much of a life?
Well, actually, it was a good thing that the doctor we met in the U.S., he was a very good doctor. He was a very positive doctor. And he said, we don't have a cure yet, but we're working on some therapies that will help you extend your life. And hopefully by the time the cure comes, you're still alive and you're still well enough to benefit from it. So it went on for several years. My dad researched and looked for doctors. And then he found a doctor in New York, Dr. Slonin. His specialty was treating Pompe patients.
Okay.
So he developed a diet, a therapy to help slow down the progression. So since my dad traveled a lot, he accumulated enough miles to get us to New York. So when I was 19 years old, at the height of my disease, I was very, very thin and very frail. At that time, I was 5'7", but I only weighed 60 pounds.
60 pounds.
So literally skin and bones.
Okay.
So and then
but you were actually growing, or
the height,
you were stretching out, but you weren't building up.
I was building up, so I was really skin and bones.
Okay.
So